Hey, what's up guys, Davis here, and today I'll be doing my unboxing and the initial review of the new Tecno Spark 40 Pro Plus. So the Spark 40 Pro Plus is the true replacement to the Spark 20 Pro Plus from early 2024, because Tecno never released a Pro Plus variant of the Spark 30 series again from last year. So it comes with a few notable improvements, as we shall see later in the video. So let's start off with the unboxing and see what we get with the phone in the box. Right, so I think this first confirm the specifications here that Tecno is really happy and proud of. So we have a 5200 mAh battery, 5 years lasting, so that means that the phone is going to be smooth. That's what they claim. You get IP64, that's the resistance, drop resistance up to 2 meters. Wouldn't trust that though, don't try that, you'll end up cracking. Glass is glass. 50 MP EAS camera with flash snap, so you have electronic image stabilization, good to see that. So the other specifications, for the processor you have the Helio G200, network you have 2G, 3G, 4G, so no 5G, which is a big bummer there. For the display you have a 6.78 inch display panel that is AMOLED, 144 Hz and 1.5K resolution, which is really good at this price point. For the camera you have a 13 MP front facing camera with dual flash, and at the rear you have 50 MP camera with the rear dual flash as well. And for the battery you have 5200 mAh as we have seen, with a 45-watt charging, which is included in the box, as you're going to see. Supercharging, so 30-watt wireless charging and 5-watt reverse wireless charging. Very good spec on here. So let's go ahead and see the phone itself in the box. So let's unbox it and see. So the variant I have here is the Nebula Black, as you're going to find out. Right. So first thing you're going to see is the box in the box. As usual, what does this contain? Let's see. So you get your Trove plus 1 month's warranty as usual. It's licensed by Qualcomm. Flag right here. So you also get your screen protector application kit installation guide right here, which is very good. And you also get these stickers that are supposed to help you in case you want to install a UV screen guard, which is very good of Tecno, because usually these UV screen guards, you use that liquid which can easily spread into your charging port and earpiece, and mess up your phone. So it's really nice of Tecno to see that they provide these stickers to help you in installation of third-party UV screen protectors. But good thing is they also include screen guard with the phone, so that's really nice to see. The likes of Samsung can't relate to this, which is very good. Tecno includes a lot in the box so that you can protect your phone. And I just wish they had pre-installed the screen protector, because most people are not going to be able to install it right. But it's good that at least it's included in the box. Right, so that's for the box in the box. That's what you get within there. And the next thing you're going to see here is the phone itself. Let's power that on. So I've been using it for a bit, obviously, to test it for the review. And this is what it looks like right here. Nebula Black. I'm going to get back to this as it powers on. Let's see what else you get in the box here. So you also get your 45-watt charger right here, USB type A charger, which is very good and generous. 45-watt charging in the box. Right, you also get your USB A to USB type C cable in the box right there. Actually, I forgot to tell you guys about the case. You also get the case with this, which I'm going to try on for you guys. And given that I have the Nebula Black variant of the phone, I get a black case right there. And you also get your SIM ejector tool. So that's all for what you get in the box, which I think is decent given the price of the phone and the features it offers. I think altogether that is a nice package. So let's go ahead and look at the device itself here. So when I got is the, let's get that out right there. So this is the Tecno Spark 40 Pro Plus in the Nebula Black variant. Yeah, so it does have very many colors when it comes to the design. You get the Nebula Black, Aurora White, Moon Titanium, and Tundra Green. But the option I have here is the Nebula Black, and I think it is one of the best looking. Yeah, it really looks really good. And let's try on the case and see what it looks like here. This is the case that they provide in the box. I think it really looks good with the case on. So I really want to show you guys before we go in and look at the design. Let's put this in here real quick. So yeah, this is what the Tecno Spark 40 Pro Plus looks like with the case on. The provided case in this Nebula Black, the black case. Very, very nice design overall. I commend it. Really like it. So let's go through some of the features and build quality of this device. So the color, obviously I've already talked about that. This is the Nebula Black, and up front you get your curved glass front with Corning Gorilla Glass 7i, and this is a 6.78 inches panel. And you also get your earpiece and single front facing camera, which is 13MP. Yeah, we shall be looking at the camera in detail later in the review section of the video. And at the back right here you get your plastic back, which is I think one of the parts I don't really like. This plastic and feels a bit cheap, but I like the design and the look, but the feel is not really the best here. It has this textured back, but I feel like it feels a bit cheap. You know, it's not, you know, it has that plasticky feel to it. And at the back here you get your single main camera, and the other camera is just for show as usual. And you also get your dual flash at the back, and Tecno branding at the bottom here, Tecno Spark branding. So these other two cameras are really for show. I wish they had at least added function, or maybe macro camera, IR blaster or something like that. But that's what you get at the back here. Nothing much. So the frame here is plastic. I can really feel this is not metal, and I think that's what makes the phone really light. You have a plastic back and a plastic frame. So that's for the display back and the frame. At the top here you get your single mic with your secondary speaker. At the bottom here you get your dual SIM tray that doesn't support SD cards. I can confirm that doesn't support SD cards, which is I think it's okay given that you're getting 256 GB storage, at least for the variants that we have here in my country. I haven't seen any with 128, so given you're getting 256, I think that's decent, except for those that really need big storage. So that would be, yeah, a bad thing that you don't have SD card support. I think that's almost now standard on most phones, except for the really entry level ones. So you also get your other primary mic right here. You get your USB-C charging port that supports up to 45-watt charging, which is good. You get your main loudspeaker right here, but you can notice how thin this phone is right here. You have to compare it to something like this Camon 40 here. It's really thin, or this Samsung Galaxy A56. I don't know if you guys can make out how thin this phone is, and I can say for certain that it feels really good in the hand. You know, this slim and lightweight design, I like it overall. I wish they had used better materials though. If they used something like this metal here, would have been nice, but obviously I know that you're working on a budget with this Spark series, so they can't really do much about the materials. But overall I like the slim design. Just wish for better materials really. Then you get your power button on the right, and your volume rocker on here, and on the left hand side here you get nothing. Overall I'll say that I like this slim and very light pebble light design. So starting off with the review, so I want to start off talking about the display here. So the display on this phone is 6.78 inches, as you guys can see here, very large and nice. Curved display, as you can see at this angle here, but it's just a slight curve. You know, it's not as dramatic as some previous Tecno phones, but yeah, it's generally curvaceous phone, you know, that paper-like design from the SA Plus, as I said earlier. So that's for the display, and the display is also 1.5K, so it's slightly above 1080p. Can I notice that? Maybe not really. It's not, you know, as good as QHD. You know, QHD is easy to notice. You can really notice that the text is sharper and stuff. But on this phone, I've tried comparing to its reviews here like this. Camon 40, and the difference is not really that dramatic, at least in my experience. I can't really notice it as much as I would have wanted to. And I also get a 144Hz refresh rate. Not sure if the chip they're using in here supports that. I don't know how they are achieving this, but they claim they have 144Hz. Generally, I'll say that the phone is smooth in my experience, so maybe they're right. But I can't really confirm that it's running at 144Hz. But that's what they claim. But generally, I'll say that the UI is really smooth. The aspect ratio on this is 20:9. As you can see, it's not really that, you know, long as compared to other Tecno phones, like the Camon 40 that I have here. So you also get your horizon display, which I will be showing you guys in a separate video on how to set it up and everything, which is good given this is an AMOLED panel. And you also get your in-display fingerprint scanner, which I haven't set up yet. I'm also going to set that up in a separate video, as you guys know. I always do that. Right, you don't get LTPO, obviously you don't expect that. But overall, I'll say that the display is really nice on here, and I like the design of it. You know, it has a curve, but the curve is not really dramatic. So when you use the case that they provide in the box, it almost disappears. For those that really like it, personally, I'm not a fan of curved displays because of the issues they introduce, you know. The likes of, you know, mistouch, you know, on the edges. I haven't experienced that yet with this phone, given this curve is not really that deep. And the case, when it's on, really negates it. But the issue with the screen guards, though, that's one that I'm worried about. You know, given the type of case that this thing has, you know, these screen guards keep popping off when you use the cases, and even installing them is a problem. So curved displays, whereas they look nice, they do come with their problems. So that's about the display on this device. Overall, I really like it. And moving on to the performance. So the performance on here, you're getting the MediaTek Helio G200, which is only slightly better than the G100 Ultimate that they used in the Camon 40. At least in my testing with 3D Mark, it got 5 points better. This wildlife test, 1360 versus the 1355 that I got with the Camon 40. So performance is decent. In my testing, at least, I played a few games, as you guys can see, installed here, and it's decent. You know, you don't get the highest graphics settings unlocked, obviously, because the chip is still new, maybe not optimized, and also it's not really a flagship chip or anything like that. So overall performance is okay, but I won't be doing dedicated gaming reviews as I do with each of these games. Now moving on to the software and user experience. So the software in here, this one is running on Tecno iOS 15, which is based off of Android 15, obviously. About the updates, I'm not really sure. Tecno didn't really make a claim on that, but it's running on iOS 15.1, as you guys can see here, based off of Android 15. So when it comes to the software experience, I would say that it's really nice. Tecno's UI has really improved over the years. The only bad thing is you get a lot of crap on this phone when you first get it. Like, you get a lot of apps that you don't really need. They add a lot of bloatware. Good thing is you can really uninstall most of it if you don't really want, like, this visual player. Don't know what that even does, but you can uninstall most of those. You get TikTok Lite and stuff like that. So yeah. So moving on to the cameras. So for a selfie camera, you get a 13MP camera up front here that takes decent photos in my testing. Takes decent photos, but you only get for video, you only get up to 1440p. You don't get 44. You don't get to record 4K. You get 1440p, and the camera is decent. It's 13 megapixels, but as you know, at this price point, you don't really expect the best camera. You know, the photos are just about decent. I think that's the point where this phone disappoints the most. I don't want to say disappoints because, you know, considering the price of it, you know, they're providing a lot of good features in the display and stuff like that. So they have to cut corners somewhere. And I think the camera is one of those places where they're cutting corners. You get a decent camera. I'm not saying it's terrible or anything like that, but it's also not going to wow you. And yeah, this is a 13MP front-facing camera that supports up to 1440p video recording, which is decent for the price of the phone. And at the back here, you get your 50MP main camera. It also supports up to 1440p at 30 fps for video recording, and it takes decent photos. But you can notice that you don't get an ultra wide, and neither do you get a telephoto lens. But it's okay, because if they had added them, they would be crappy anyway because of the budget. They're trying to save on budget, so the cameras are just decent at best, not something that is going to worry you. So you don't buy this one for the camera. If I'm saying that, maybe if you're coming from like an entry level device, you could notice a difference in the quality, but other than that, the cameras are not really going to wow you on this phone. But you get electronic image stabilization. I tested that out. It's decent, and it's going to work especially in good lighting. And the photos can get noisy when you get indoors where it's a bit dark and stuff like that. So not the best camera experience on here, but for the price and considering the other features that you get with the phone, I think it's acceptable and decent. Moving on to the battery life. So the battery life on this phone is generally, it has been decent in my testing. I've been using this phone for about 3 days now, and it has a 5200 mAh battery, and I haven't had to charge. I think I've only charged it twice, and not that it was out of battery, but just topping it off, really. And it has been fine so far. But saying that, considering that I'm not been using it with the SIM, I've been mostly using it on Wi-Fi, so the experience might vary, might be a little different when you're using it with the SIM, but I don't expect it to be bad or worse, because the battery life on this has been so far really good. It will only get a little worse when you add a SIM card, because obviously SIM cards drain a lot, to do with the network searching and stuff like that. But generally, it has been good, and it has a very big capacity, and I really applaud Tecno, for being able to fit a 5200 mAh battery in such a slim package. It's really, really nice that they could do that, and you're going to have decent battery on here. And the charging tech is also good. You get 45 watt charging, which is really good. 45 watt charging with 30 watt wireless charging, which is really good. And I want to test that out for you guys. You get 30 watt wireless charging, and I also get reverse wireless charging, 5 watt reverse wireless charging right here. So let's test out that wireless charging. I got my wireless charger right here. So yeah, I have my wireless charger now right here, so you can just place that on there and you guys can see there's wireless charging, which is really nice for this price point. I think that's really decent. You get wireless charging, and it also becomes magnetic. Not the strongest magnets, but the magnets are stronger when you have the case attached to the phone. The case is attached on here. You get stronger magnetic connection on here, as you guys can see. It's not the strongest really, but you get the idea right there. So yeah, you can connect your wireless charger and really enjoy it. So that's nice that Tecno added that onto this wireless charging. So overall, for the battery, I'll say it's really, really good. You get the decent capacity, 5200 in a very slim package, and 45 watt wired charging with the charger included in the box. But the wireless charger is not included in the box. You guys should note that. You don't get a wireless charger in the box though. So that's something to note. But overall, I would say that the battery experience really good. Fast charging, wireless charging, all that. You get all the tech that you need. And at this price point, I think it's really decent and nice. So moving on to the audio. So for the audio, you get your stereo speaker setup right here. The top firing speaker here. Speaker opening, and your main loudspeaker at the bottom here. I'll say that the audio on here is not really the best. It's just about decent. When you maximize the volume, you do get some decent bass, but really nothing. Nothing like it's going to wow you or anything. And when you're at the mid range of the sound here, really the bass is really teeny. Not the best experience, but you're working on a budget. when it comes to this phone. You have to remember the price of the phone and the ton of features that you get in the likes of wireless charging and all. So you have to, cut corners somewhere. But at least you get a serious speaker setup. So moving on to the connectivity and features. So as I said earlier, you get dual SIM support, no eSIM, and you don't get SD card support. Maybe you can look at the SIM tray here. Let me just get my SIM ejector right here. So you do get your SIM tray right here with dual SIM support, but no SD card support, as you can see. So you get your dual SIMs, but no SD card support. That's for the SIM, and it also supports NFC. For those that want to confirm that, as you can see the icon right there, you can enable NFC right here, and you can also turn it off if you want. You get wireless and reverse wireless charging, so that's really nice. An additional feature that they've added, and notably missing is the IR blaster. You don't get an IR blaster with this one. They omitted that. Some of their models do get it, but I think that's something they could have added easily, really. For the pricing, which is the final part, is priced at about $210 here in my country, at least for 256 8GB RAM, which I think is the only variant I've seen, really. So you get it at $200, which is decent, for the features you have talked through, as you guys have seen. So overall, I'll say that for the price of it, this is a very nice phone. So to summarize everything, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons. So I'm going to start off with the pros. So you get slim pebble curve design, which is really good. A display that is 1.5K at 144 Hz refresh rate, really decent. And you get decent performance for the price, with the MediaTek Helio G200. And you get wireless charging and decent battery, which is good. And you get a lot of AI features, which I didn't really show you guys. AI features here, as you can see, when you go to Tecno AI, you get slow features. Very many of those. May make a separate video to talk about them, but you get a lot of AI features, and I think it has a decent price as well. So for the cons, I'll say you don't have a telephoto or ultra wide lens. The notable lack of 5G, which is a big con for me, and I think one of the reasons why I would skip out on this phone personally. You don't get a headphone jack as well, and no SD card support. I've talked about that already, and the crappy haptics. So those are main cons that I'm talking about, but I think the outline here is the outstanding con is the lack of 5G. So in conclusion, I'll say that this is a very decent phone for the price. You get a very nice display, decent performance, a very nice slim design, as I showed you guys, very slim compared to other phones. We're comparing it to the Samsung phone. You can see how slim it is. So decent design, and it's decently priced. It has a decent price, aggressively priced, and for the features that you're getting, overall, I say it's really nice. You get a case, a charger in the box. So overall, I'll say that it's a nice phone. I can recommend it, other than the fact that it didn't have 5G. Hey guys, so a small update. So I forgot to talk about two things: the phone link up and Tecno's claim of having dual front-facing flashes, which it turns out you only have one functional flash. So I think let me start off with that. As you guys can see here, if I'm to enable 360 flash, you only have one functional flash. So there is space that would have been for like a second flash at the front here, but it doesn't actually function. So that's one of the updates I wanted to give. I don't know if it's a software issue that will resolve it, but if anything changes, I'll be updating you guys. So that's one of the updates I want to give. And then also the Freelink app, this app that allows you to, make calls even when you don't have a SIM card in it. That's all about the Tecno Spark 40 Pro Plus in my testing. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.